Welcome back to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
Hope you guys are enjoying this wonderful day. It's actually quite pleasant outside.
It is.
Did you even go outside?
I did. I let the dogs out and let them in. Well, I didn't let them out. I had to let them in.
I feel like you've got the nice gamer pale thing going on.
I did play Call of Duty for 9 straight
It's almost
hours.
like you only go out at night.
My job requires me to only go out at night.
It's pretty cool. Today, I got up. The sun was shining when I like naturally woke up. I felt really good. It's been a couple of days, and I went outside, and it was a little deceiving. We're supposed to get like some ridiculous high winds or something tonight, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing anything about that. And there's apparently a chance of snow.
Yeah.
Right?
So I know this is the good news, and we're not actually at the good news part of it.
Yeah.
But one of the articles that I'm not going to put on, but I read, and I thought was kind of neat, was they have this big snow sculpting competition or something.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff about these.
Yeah, and I mean, there's people from all over that come to do it, but like like a group from Minnesota is what won it. I mean,
Ooh.
I mean, they're like, I think,
mean,
do they
I
have
feel
snow
like
year round or something?
They have a natural advantage. I feel like this is cheating.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm not like in front of the monitor there. But anyway, welcome everybody that's watching. Give a shout out to Drapsnat and Sarah, and one Ella, and Kata. Thanks for watching.
Sure.
So, I feel like I butchered that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Kata.
that's the only downside with you being able to write it in whatever name you want. It's entirely open to interpretation unless you specifically say how you want it.
If I'm pronouncing it wrong, just go ahead and type down in the chat. Speaking of chat, if you'd like to chat with us 24/7, you can join us here on our Discord. We would love to have you. Lots of people send me direct messages. If you find a good news, go ahead and send it in. We'd like to put it up for you. Anything you want to add before we get going?
No, it's cold out.
It's cold out.
Cold out.
So today is National Groundhog Day.
Oh god. Oh god.
No. Well, and I guess I shouldn't say what the groundhog saw because this is supposed to be this is supposed to be good news. But
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
So for everyone at home, I haven't looked it up because
here it is.
I can't call him that on stream.
Here it is. You ready?
What is it?
6 more weeks of winter. That's what he said.
I'm quitting my job right now.
So apparently there's 2 groundhogs. I didn't know until somebody said.
Is Puxatawny Phil dying?
No. There's 2. There's 1. There's 2 of them.
The groundhog is called Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah. But apparently there's 2 groundhogs across the country, and they both said 6 more weeks of winter. So
they had to start. I
had no idea there were 2. I had no
idea.
idea there were 2. Allegedly, he's right 42% of the time.
That's why they had to start fact checking his work. That's why they needed a second one.
Okay, so a little note. I don't know if anybody out there knew that, but the majority of the Groundhog movie was actually filmed in. Actually, I think the movie in its entirety was filmed in Illinois. If you're from the States or hailing that way.
You like me some Bill Murray.
Yeah. So I learned that. Actually, I knew that, but anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's also National Heavenly Hash Day. Yeah, don't get like too excited.
What is that?
Heavenly Hash is like basically a bunch of desserts. The main ingredient that you have to have in it is basically marshmallows.
I'm gonna say ash.
Wait. So hash, as in
it's hash
H-A-S-H,
browns covered in chocolate.
but hash, not like. Yeah, let's just clarify. This is a dessert.
Yeah, it's a dessert. It's not a breakfast item
or
something for a really
recreational purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is, I guess. If it's a dessert,
I suppose
it's a
dessert.
Yeah. So anyway, you can have like marshmallows with like chocolate and a pie, or you can have like a marshmallow and like fruit salad.
So the main ingredient is marshmallow.
It's just marshmallows. Basically, you celebrate it by making some kind of a dessert with a bunch of marshmallows in it. So basically, well, see, I don't know if a s'more would count or not. I don't know. I would think it would. Think if you could make s'mores, that would be considered heavenly hash. It's Heavenly Hash Day. There you go. And speaking of the other hash, it is also National Tater Tot Day.
And that is, without a doubt, the most important thing.
I feel like that was a perfect segue into that, too.
Having them tonight. It's happening now.
It's happening right now.
They are already in the oven. I didn't even know about it until now.
This is going to happen. So that's pretty cool. So it's National Heavenly Hash Day. And then it's also National Sort of Hash Tater Tot Day, if you enjoy hash.
You know, it's a potato kind of day.
It's a potato kind of day with marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, and then my favorite, just because the whole reason why we started the good news thing, is it's National Optimist Day. I mean, we didn't start it because of National Optimist Day, but it looks like the first Thursday in February is National Optimist Day. So if you're a pessimistic type of a person, today is the day to do the opposite.
Yeah, sorry, today ain't your day.
Today is your day.
You gotta switch it up for 24 hours.
24 hours. Think positive. The glass is half full. See, I always thought, and this is just me, but like, I guess it's not just me. I heard it from someone, but like the glass is technically always full.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. So they're like, are you a glass half full or half empty type of a person? Technically, the glass is completely full. It's just half full of fluid, and then the other half is, air.
See, I'm not the brightest. So there was a point in my life where when I would get asked that question, my response would be another question. And that question would be, where's the glass? Where'd you get a glass from?
Where did it come from?
Yeah, where's the glass?
Yeah. So a little joke, prank, whatever. Actually, I was just being bad. But I had a friend who said they would share half their drink with me.
Okay.
I drank the entire thing.
You are an evil human being.
Yeah. And they were like, what did you do that for? And I was like, well, my half was on the bottom.
This does not justify what you've done.
I feel like I am the smartest person in there.
This does not justify what if your half is on the bottom, that just means you gotta wait. You did not. You just jumped the gun. You went. My half is. My half is. Your half is the glass. My half is what's inside the glass.
Right. So I'll admit that I was.
You betrayed. That was a betrayal right there.
I was a handful of a person to get along with, but people love getting along with me anyway. Let's see here. Give a shout out to Alicidra. Thanks for joining us. I was just thinking about this. We missed Commander Root last week, right?
We did.
And your favorite.
Lurks.
Big
man Lurks.
And so I feel like, a little sad.
A little sad.
If anybody knows them, I'll let them know that we're back. In our defense, or their defense, I guess, we were off for quite a while.
Could be here, just lurking around.
Yeah, could be.
Entirely possible.
Could be. I don't understand how we have a whole list of people here, but it still shows only 2 people watching down at the
Twitch.
bottom. So
it's
kind of funny.
That's Twitch.
I feel like I'm missing out on people. But anyway, if you're watching, thanks for watching. And we'll get on to the good news part of the program.
Today's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
Because we have good news here.
Good news.
Which is very nice.
Exciting.
And it's refreshing. It's a good way to start off your day, especially if you're me and you woke up 3 hours ago. It's a good way to start your day. However, after good news is over, I have to go stream. I don't want to because it's Call of Duty night, and that means I'm going to be really upset for 90% of my stream.
Well, at least you can be upset with a firearm.
Exactly. That's the redeeming quality of Call of Duty.
I remember playing Deus Ex, and like there are times when you go through when you sneak your way through, and then there's other days when you're just not.
And this where you're just like, well,
this is therapy.
All right,
this is a therapy.
This is a therapy session now.
Right. I thought you were leading into something else with that. You kind of took me sideways. I was waiting for like this big announcement, like you were pregnant or something.
Wild card. I got. You know what? Not that I know yet. I'm really hoping so. I'm really hoping not.
So I was at the store And then I know I'll get on to the good news after this, but I was at the store and a young child was with me,
Okay.
and to my horror, they went up to this elderly lady and said, "Oh, when are you having your baby?" Now, just looking at this lady, she was definitely past the age of having children. And like I stopped breathing for a minute. My heart stopped. I could see, my life
Yeah,
flash
yeah.
before my
You
eyes.
could see the end of
And
everything.
and the old lady took it really, really well. She looked at her and she smiled and she says, "Oh, honey, I'm not pregnant. I'm just fat." It worked out really, really well.
Hey, look. At least she had a sense of humor.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's all that matters.
So, speaking of sense of humor, you're gonna have to have a sense of humor to watch this next one. So my first article
Your first article.
is about a raccoon.
Okay.
And legit railroad workers rescued a raccoon after the hair on its back end got frozen to the train tracks.
Now, see, so
Okay, before you do that, here, take a look at this picture.
yeah, no, take a look at the picture because my comment is about the picture. Now, we can see this before they do
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's pulled up. I thought that your article was about a raccoon that racked itself on the train
No.
tracks.
Oh, you mean like doing stunts or something?
And it would have been a perfect segue because 3 days ago I did the exact same thing on a sledding hill.
I was gonna say, what were you playing on the train tracks for?
No,
man?
no, we were going down a sledding hill. And you know how you always there's the one bump that
Yeah,
messes
yeah,
everyone up.
yeah.
I hit the bump, came up, landed down on the edge on the corner of the sled, right
Yeah,
smack dab.
not good for guys.
I was done for like half an hour.
Yeah. Well, this guy was almost done for.
He was almost done for.
He was going over the tracks. He sat down, and it looked like his backside might have been a little wet or something, and he actually froze to the track.
Could you imagine just watch a raccoon
Yeah.
sit down and then you just see him like
The bad news is, if a train comes along, he can't move. He legit
exactly
was
he
stuck.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be done.
So, railroad workers were able to rescue a stricken male raccoon after it became frozen to the tracks, stuck fast by the hair on its private parts.
See, he gets it. The raccoon gets it.
Yes, he gets it. The animal was seen facing the oncoming train carriage as it straddled one side of the tracks. Neil Mullis was out on the job when he came across the poor little guy. The traumatized-looking raccoon was eventually rescued after a 5-minute operation. I poured the warm water under his bottom while a coworker worked the shovel under his rear to try and break him loose, said the 35-year-old. After about 5 minutes of slowly working him loose, he was freed, jumping off the tracks and ran into the woods, never looking back. Despite the rescue efforts from Neil and his colleagues, nobody could tell how or why the raccoon got stuck in this predicament near Cochrane, Georgia. I'm guessing it's because it was 10 degrees outside. Somehow he was crossing over the rail and sat too long and got stuck, said Neil. After inspecting the clumps of fur left stuck to the rail, Neil summed up by saying, "Operation well performed. Little fella is safe now."
His butt is really cold.
You can
You
see-
already know.
Look at, you can see
He's
the-
got whatchamacallit right
like
now.
there's some of the fur still stuck there.
You know what he ran off in the woods with that I didn't mention? I bet you he ran off in the woods with baboon butt.
That would be the part where you're like, I forget that was the segue into it. You have to have a sense of, you have to have
Yeah.
a good sense of humor for that one. So raccoons are pretty cute looking when they're little. They grow up to be kind of mean though.
I think it was my grandparents. My grandparents had a raccoon as a pet for a while.
Yeah.
And
I
in
see people do.
enclosure. And the enclosure had this giant tree, and it would just constantly be up in the tree, just sitting down, judging everyone, and you could tell it was judging.
Yeah. So they're really smart.
They are. They're very smart.
Yeah, raccoons are part of the bear family.
Have you seen the video of the raccoon who gets cotton candy and then falls into water?
No.
The saddest thing I've ever seen. This raccoon gets handed a piece of cotton candy. Raccoons will wash their food. So he dips the cotton candy in water and it all evaporates. And you can just see him like,
What just
he's
happened?
having an existential crisis.
I didn't realize that raccoons wash their food.
They wash their food, yeah. Raccoons will wash their food.
I'm gonna have to watch this video.
I'll find it for you after the show.
Yeah, maybe you can post it on Discord.
We could.
Okay, we'll post it on Discord if you want to see that later. So my next article, how do you feel about 3D printers? I mean, we have one here in the
And
studio.
say I'm looking at one.
Yeah, we used it a lot.
It's good. I like it. I still have the lovely statue you printed out for me. It sits on my desk. It's great.
I have a lot of random other stuff.
You do. You have a lot of random.
So,
You've got that.
Here's my Darth Vader pen holder that I printed.
You've got the.
You can see him. He's like kneeling.
His head moves too.
Well, that's.
I don't know if it was intentional.
No. You're supposed to glue it down, but I had to print the head separately because the way the printer works.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah, and he's got some weird under thinging going on here, but we won't mention that either.
What I want to do,
I should have printed it with more supports.
What I thought about doing is, I found a blueprint. Now I need black.
Yeah.
For it, but I found a blueprint. Do you remember when they first showed it off in the 3 new Star Wars movies, when they first showed off the destroyed Darth Vader head?
Yeah.
I found a blueprint for one.
Really?
And it's massive. It's like that big.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a basketball. But I thought, man, that'd be dope to print out.
Yes, it would.
And we could have it.
Yeah.
We'd have a destroyed Darth Vader head.
I have somebody who wants me to 3D print a book marker for them too.
Yeah.
No, and it looks like little claws trying to like claw its way out of the book.
It's whatchamacallit? It's that Harry Potter book that tried to eat him in the second movie.
Yeah, the monster one or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of printers, I guess.
Speaking of printers,
the very first 2-story home to be 3D printed. And I ain't talking about like a dollhouse. I'm talking about a legit 2-story home.
2-story home.
Printed in the U.S. is in Texas. And here's a picture.
Here's the question that you got to think of. See, so it is Texas. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think it was stereotype Texas that thought of this? Or do you think it was engineering Texas that thought of this? The stereotype Texas is they're about 7 beers deep. They go, you know what would be really funny?
Well, I
now
think
watch this.
There's a lot of... that's usually how most... Okay, this is good news. I'll keep that with the next stuff. But anyway, yeah, you could 3D print houses now.
You could 3D print
they've been doing 3D printed houses now, but this first 2-story.
We did an article,
yeah,
a couple months ago, on tiny 3D printed houses that were being made.
Single ones.
Yeah, and they weren't very expensive either.
Yeah, so this one is pretty cool. So this enormous printer weighing more than 12 tons is creating what is to believe the first 3D printed 2-story home in the United States. That's according to a new video from Reuters News highlighting the 4,000 square foot home in Houston, Texas. The huge printer erected on the site requires 330 hours of printing to create the 3-bedroom home. Called the House of Cores, the design combines concrete 3D printing with wood framing. The project is the culmination of a 2-year collaborative effort between architectural designers Leslie Locke and Sasa Zivkovic, principals of Hannah, along with Perry 3D Construction and CIVE, CIVE, one of the leading engineers and design build contractors in Houston. In 2020, a 2-story home was 3D printed in Europe with 2 living rooms, a kitchen, bathroom, and foyer by a Belgian company working on sustainable construction.
Now, here's my thought process. Well, I have 2 things. One, how much do you think it costs to buy one of those homes, to buy a home like that?
I need to look that up. I should have when I was doing the article.
It can't cost as much as like a regular built house, right?
I figured probably not. Concrete is going to be the main part of it.
Feel like if you put this house up against the same size house, I feel like the 3D printed house would probably be like 50 grand less.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it involves no real labor. I mean, you have the people who assemble the printer and disassemble the printer, but you don't have carpenters working there and all that stuff. And people are going to go, well, you might be putting them out, but maybe not, because you'll hire those same people to put together the printer and take apart the printer.
Even if the carpenters are losing jobs, you're creating more jobs because you need the engineers for the printer.
Yeah.
You need the 3D design. You need 3D designers and the modelers for not architectural reasons.
Yeah.
To help design the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all I know is that 330 hours and the printers can run nonstop.
Yeah.
Let's see. 330 divided by 24 hours. Basically 2 weeks.
I'd say 2 weeks. 2 weeks to build a house.
2 weeks to build a house. Start to finish, bada boom. I mean, you have to go in and put in some electrical and all that stuff afterwards, but that's minimal.
And my follow-up question is, how much did they spend on filament? The print.
You mean the concrete? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. How much do you think they spent on that? Because that's got to be more expensive than our stuff that we have.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Here's the whole picture of it. You can see the inside part there, but it comes in layers like that because of the way it is. But
I wonder if it'd be easier or harder to lay in electrical work.
I think it'd be easy
to do, like if you have to do maintenance on the house later on.
I feel like they would just put in the electrical along the walls, and then they would fill it with drywall and everything. It would just be pretty easy.
I'd imagine. So.
I don't think you would need much or any insulation because I would think the concrete would be super.
When I first saw this picture, I thought I thought it was gonna be like Star Wars related. Like I thought we were on like a new Star Wars set.
Yeah. So, the project 2 years. Wait, how big is it again?
4,000 square feet.
But it doesn't say. Okay, it's just 3-bedroom home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my next article. Let's see here. Now that I messed that up. My next article is actually kind of cool.
Well, good lord.
Yeah. This is all about thinking about what you want and then having it come to you, kind of.
Fair enough.
A lot of people call that like manifesting or something. But anyway, right here, this little girl, whoops, can't see with the monitor there. This little girl declares that she wants to find a megalodon tooth and promptly plucks one from the beach on Christmas Day. She's like, I want to get a megalodon tooth. And then right after that, goes out there and bada boom, has it.
What do you think the thought process of the parents? Like, yeah, sure, I'm sure we can find her like a fake.
Sure.
We can find her like a fake one that's pretty real. She shows up like 3 hours later. Mom, look what I found.
Check it out. Look at it. It was Christmas Day, and young Molly was jumping for joy, having unwrapped a pair of insulated waders and a sifting basket. They were exactly what the 9-year-old wanted and needed because, as it turns out, they helped her get her hands on a once-in-a-lifetime find of a megalodon tooth from a 50-foot shark that swam in the prehistoric oceans 15 million years ago. Molly Sampson wants to be a paleontologist when she grows up, a dream nurtured by her and her father's love of fossil hunting in the shallow waters of Chesapeake Bay, Calvert Cliffs, Maryland. She and her sister Natalie both go often with their father Bruce, and even on a 10-degree day at 9:30 on Christmas morning, all they wanted to do was go looking for fossils. Molly, according to NPR, announced to the team she was going to look for a megalodon tooth. It was low tide, meaning they could wade further out, allowing Molly to catch a glimpse of her dream find. I went closer, and in my head I was like, oh my, that is the biggest tooth I've ever seen, Molly said excitedly during an interview in early January. I reached in and grabbed it, and Dad said I was shrieking. Here's another picture.
Can you imagine? You just leave your kid alone. You're like, I trust kid wanders off. You just hear, ah, ah, ah.
Yeah, you're like, she found a shark.
Yeah.
Her father also dreams of finding a meg tooth, but his largest find is about 3 inches. The future paleontologist explained to local news how one can estimate the size of the shark by the size of the tooth. Every inch is 10 feet, Molly said. So this is 5 inches, so it'd be 50 feet. A 50-foot shark. Bruce and the family took the tooth to the Calvert Marine Museum to confirm its identity, who shares Molly's story on Facebook. Megalodon, short for Megalodontus, or giant tooth, was one of the largest predatory fish to ever live and is estimated to have wielded the greatest bite force of the process of evolution has ever produced.
This is how I know I'm eating too much food. I read Megalodon, short for Megalodonuts.
Megalodontus.
Megalodonuts.
Yeah. I'm not pregnant. I'm just
I'm
fat.
not pregnant. I'm just fat.
So Megalodontus, which means giant toothed, is the greatest bite force the process of evolution has ever produced. Precursors to the modern great white sharks in hunting and feeding habits, they preyed on whales and dolphins before going extinct, presumably during a decline in prey numbers. And at the end of the story, Molly got to keep the tooth.
I was gonna say, because that was my first thought. I'm like, oh, she found it. Did the Smithsonian just yoink it from her?
You know, if it's one of the biggest ones, you think they would maybe offer to buy it from her?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible they did.
Yeah,
and he's like,
nah.
I found this guy, and I ain't
You
letting
can
you take
have
credit
it.
for nothing.
You can have it when you pry it from my cold
Yeah,
dead
exactly.
body.
When I die, you can have it.
Gonna be buried with it.
Even then, you ain't gonna be able to get it because
Yeah.
you're gonna be accused of grave robbing.
I feel like I would put it on a chain and just wear it around your neck.
Dude, if you fall on that, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
It's
cool.
big.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. One more shot for everybody. There it is. As big as her hand.
Is that a tiny tooth in his other hand?
I don't know what that is there, but
I think it's a tiny tooth.
it might just be where it bit her. It might have bit her.
That's how she got the tooth. She tells everyone she found it. Realistically, she just wrestled a shark for it.
Yeah. So my next article is probably one of the coolest ones. I mean, this is kind of like why I do this show, just for these type of stories. And it's I guess it's my personality. You know, I've gone to, and you've been with me, I think, when I've gone out to eat, and I just will buy somebody's meal.
You've
you
done
know?
this, yes.
And I make it like I have to have it so that like I'm gone when the person
you
gets
have
their
to
bill.
be gone.
I
If
don't-
you are around, it ruins.
I don't-
It looks like it ruins everything for you.
I don't want to.
You don't want to be there.
I don't want them to look at me. I don't want them to, you know what I mean? And I have been there when they've gotten it, and
You
the,
have.
the waitress honestly, truly doesn't tell them who it is.
She tries. She tries her best to
But then
hide
there are
it.
other times when I was like, don't tell them, and she's like, okay, and they walk across the room, and later you see them pointing.
Yeah, they're like,
That guy right
that
there.
guy.
That guy.
He did it. Look
guy
at
right
that
there.
guy right
Him.
there. Mr. Moneybags over there.
I'm like,
like,
me? Me? I'm like hiding under the table.
I'm like pulling out my wallet, seeing a fly come out. I'm like, what do you mean, dog?
I get up and run. Well, this guy didn't buy anybody's meal, but this tiny Alabama town was shocked to learn that this farmer had secretly paid, cutting off the wife's face there, secretly paid people's pharmacy bills for a decade.
Before we move on, before we continue, hello, Electric. We did see your message.
Hello, Electric. Well, you know what? Let's do that. Hello, Electric. Thanks for joining. And that's all that came in there.
You know what?
And I see like Electric's not even in, but
That's how it is sometimes.
clearly
Welcome to
Electric is
Twitch.
in there. Yeah. Thank you, Twitch. We can't even properly say thank you or hi. We're still only showing 3 people.
You know what? Look, at least the server still runs.
At least it's right.
At least their servers are up.
So, let's do this. Maybe it'll change. Nope.
That's crazy.
Nope.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. No saying hi. It's not allowed. Oh.
I just cut off his whole story to say
Hey.
hi, so I don't.
Sorry.
That's kind of not how that works.
Against Twitch.
You know what? There's a lot of stuff that's against TOS for Twitch that is just ridiculous.
You can't say hi to people for real?
No. So that's a joke, but it's somewhat true. There are specific points where you cannot say certain things to your Twitch chat, and you will get in trouble for it. That's an actual thing.
Oh, well. Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Twitch, I swear to God.
Okay. So, this guy here, upon the occasion of the funeral for one Hody Childress of Geraldine, Alabama, it was revealed that for a decade this quiet and humble gentleman was a sort of guardian angel for the town's poor and sick. You're also wrong. The Discord
So she just
said,
called us out.
please revive it.
Discord
Yeah.
died, apparently. That's
It did, and we did it, but we're gonna throw another invite out just
But-
because Electric is.
But see, the
is
Discord,
shattered.
the Discord's gonna get revived because I'm no longer banned from streaming, which means I can promote it too.
It's true that the main channel doesn't get it, but I do get a lot of
We do.
Individual chats. I was chatting with actually two people from overseas recently. So, and of course, honestly, truly, I do get a lot of good news stories from people who send me stuff on Discord. So that's pretty nice. Um, so Hody Childress from Geraldine, Alabama. He was like a guardian angel for the town's poor and sick. A farmer and U.S. Air Force veteran, Childress began his covert charity campaign when he visited the local Geraldine's drugstore and learned that all too many of the town's 900 residents couldn't afford to pay for their prescriptions. Life up until, sorry, right up until that point had been difficult from a health standpoint. Sorry, life, yeah, up to that point had been a difficult health standpoint. Childress lost a son in 1973 and his first wife in 1999, whom he used to carry into the stands for local football games due to her multiple sclerosis. Upon hearing of his neighbor's inability to always afford their medicines, he handed Brooke Walker, owner of Geraldine Drugs, a $100 bill. Here, this $100 bill is for anyone who can't afford their prescription, Walker recalled in an interview with local news. Do not tell a soul that the money came from me. Tell them it's a blessing from God. A month later, Walker saw Childress again walking into her store to hand over another $100 bill with the exact same instructions. Do not tell a soul that this money came from me. Tell them it was a blessing from God. He would return on the first of every month for the same motivation for years until in late 2022, because he wasn't able to walk due to a pulmonary disease and other health conditions, he decided he needed to enlist someone for help. He entrusted the task to his daughter, Tanya Nix. I was shocked. I had no idea that he was helping people at the drugstore, according to WVTM. At his funeral on February 5th, 2023, Nix told the story of Childress. Yep.
January 5th, February 5th.
Sorry.
February 5th hasn't even happened
January
yet.
5th.
He hasn't died yet, apparently.
January 5th. On January 5th, 2023, Nix told the story of Childress's decade of giving and how it was able to cover the cost of expensive medications for 2 Geraldine residents per month. The word got out that they had an angel in their midst, and WVTM reports that the townspeople have agreed to carry on his legacy. There are so many people in Geraldine who have lived longer because of Hody, pharmacist Heather Walker said. Hody was a true humble servant who will always be loved.
That's the man.
I just really like the story.
Yeah?
I just really like the story. I mean, that's the whole point of doing this, you know what I mean? Because I mean, you know my story. Sick and tired of like day in and day out, and all that you get in the news is all the like garbage, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't watch the news.
And all the doom and gloom. I mean, it's depressing.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, you know, my grandpa used to watch the news, like, and he would watch it every hour, you know, the different ones. He knew which ones came on. And when you look at the commercials that they show on there, they're all commercials for like antidepressants. And I'm like, it is because you're catering to those people. You know what I mean? You're making them depressed and then trying to sell them stuff. But like there are legit good people out there. And Childress is one of them. And many, many, many more. So we're gonna talk about more good things. But I just love the story. Anything you want to add?
He has died.
He has died.
It's not we have said that this man will die.
He has died. He did pass away last month. But it sounds like his $100.
$100 went a lot.
The townspeople, it's probably going to end up being more than that.
Probably.
So even though
nobody's paying for medication,
nobody's paying. No more. So anyway, my next article is just pretty cool, just because it looks really cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah, this cargo ship is flying a giant kite. You can see there to save fuel and cut emissions.
Yep.
You've heard of this?
I have. I actually did. I saw a picture of this.
Yeah. So at first I was like, it looks weird.
It looks weird.
You wouldn't think it would do work.
I didn't think it would work. However, it works.
However, it worked really, really well.
It works.
Yeah. So using an ancient solution for a modern problem, A firm successfully tested how a giant kite can be used to tug shipping vessels across the ocean and significantly reduce the amount of diesel fuel they use. It's huge. We're going to touch it in a minute. But like, okay, it's tempting to call the product a sail and the activity sailing. However, even the word kite belays the technological sophistication of the Sea Wing built by Airseas. Retrofitted onto the front of any container ship, this massive parafoil can generate 20% of the vessel's total propulsion. That's huge.
That's still moving
That's
decently quick.
Huge.
That's
20%.
That's still quick movement.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Oh my lord. That's
For free.
Actually wow.
For free.
That's pretty good.
Generates 20% of the vessel's total propulsion. This was recently confirmed as part of a test with the French container ship, the Ville de Bordeaux, as it moved aircraft parts from the U.S. to France. Airseas makes the Sea Wing in 2,700 square foot and 5,400 square foot models. The startup is also developing a 10,800 square foot version, all of which are housed in consoles at the front of the ship. The company is thrilled to have reported that the Ville de Bordeaux reduced its consumption of a dirty diesel composite called bunker fuel by 20% over the course of its journey. That's just incredible. I wish I could save 20% of my gas in my car.
If I could save 20% of my gas, I would save like $100.
Yeah, yeah. The last few months have seen major players like Costco, BHP, and MOL join the ranks of wind propulsion backers alongside K-Line, Lewis Dreyfus Armatures, Oldendorf, Scandalines, and Cargill.
Who are these companies?
Stephanie Lesage, corporate secretary of Airseas, wrote in a recent op-ed, cargo owners, charterers, ship owners, and shipyards alike are all coming to realize the benefits of wind-assisted propulsion in the shipping's journey towards a lower carbon future, making sure that wasn't anything important. The industry generates about 2% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, but 15% of sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide emissions, which can be toxic to breathe for both man and fish.
Ouch.
Meant to be a fully automatic, it is one of the most high-tech sails you're likely to see. At the push of a button, the parafoil is evenly deployed from its command console onto a sharp breeze by a series of tethers. Once deployed, the tethers are programmed to gather information about yaw, pitch, and wind direction to constantly shift the position of the parafoil to catch the greatest amount of wind energy.
Could you imagine just being like, I don't gotta do anything. My kite thinks for itself.
It does. And it'll catch it and move it all. I mean, and then adjust. It's pretty cool. I mean, but you know,
it's a kite that flies itself.
Drones are like self, you know, when the things move or whatever, they'll keep it on going. But this is just.
I would say drones are yes. Drones are very, very interesting, but they work based off propellers. This is incredibly interesting because it's cloth and fabric.
Yeah, and then when it's no longer
thinks for itself.
When it's no longer going to work right, it folds itself up.
Just folds itself back up.
Yeah, kind of cool. Well, here it goes. Once the kite is no longer needed or the wing goes flat, it evenly retracts back into its command console.
How hard do you think it was to program it so it would not bunch itself up when it retracts back in?
I feel like,
especially 4,800 square feet.
That's why like computer automation is going to be the thing. It does it just better than we do. I see that little thing that they have now. It's like a little thing. It's about half the size of this desk. And you put your clothes in it. It automatically knows what clothes you are and it folds it for you.
I just think these people need to learn how to fold clothes.
It's
cool.
Roll it into a ball.
Don't get me wrong. It's cool. Look, how I fold my clothes are whatever the smallest square that I can make it. That's folded. That's just how it works.
Okay. Quote, we are launching a flying object from a sailing object, compensating for movement on all sides, such as waves in high seas and turbulence at low altitude. Vincent Bernardis, CEO of Airseas, told Canary Media. explaining the difficulties.
That's a lot of words
Yeah.
just to say, hey, we're launching a kite that can fly itself
Right.
and help you move your ship with reducing carbon emissions.
Mm-hmm. After the flight, we have to ensure that the Sea Wing lands smoothly and precisely on a moving target, the ship bow, which is oscillating on waves and generating heavy turbulence and movement. Depending on what you classify as merchant shipping, the world uses between 50,000 and 100,000 merchant vessels to transport goods and materials around the globe, so the scaling up potential is large. Airseas already has several buyers lined up. Japanese shipper K Line could outfit as many as 50 ships in the next few years with Sea Wings.
Now, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is new technology, this now opens up a new market.
Mm-hmm.
Can they get in trouble for technically creating a monopoly of said market? Because they're the only people doing it.
I think that's only in the United States. There are laws like
But
that.
if they do stuff, if they sell to the United States, is there a problem with that? I don't know how it works.
With the EPA and everybody else trying to commit or like lower emissions and everything.
That is fair. They might
it's a good
overlook it.
thing.
They might overlook it.
Right. And then if you have an automatic kite, I mean, can a person take such a kite up
Auto deploy kite.
and just? I want to be the first person to kite across the ocean. Actually, I don't.
You need a lot.
I wonder how many people are going to disappear.
You need a lot of wind. Be another Bermuda Triangle
You're
type thing.
You're going down. No. Deploy.
500
Deploy.
500 people lost in a kiting accident trying to go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay. On a good news note,
On a
I
good
guess,
note,
this toddler is best friends with a frog.
this is already the best story we've ever told.
It should be the first person to kite across. It would be funny. Welcome to the show, Some Sav. Thanks for joining us. I see Electric finally.
If
popping in.
you, regardless of anything we talk about, no matter how good it is, frogs always win.
Yeah, frogs always win. There's that song, Jeremiah. Can't sing it because we'll get
Twitch, come on, give us a pass, dog.
yeah, give it a pass. But he was a good friend of this guy.
He was.
That he wrote a song
He
about.
was a good friend of mine.
He couldn't understand a single word he said, but he helped him to drink his wine.
I can't imagine. Once I learned that he was actually
Drinking wine with the frog?
yeah. Once I had the image of my head. Have you seen?
I feel like the frogs had the wine. It was the frog's wine.
Have you ever seen the Sauvignon or whatever it is? There's a painting
Yeah.
of a frog in a tuxedo and a top hat holding a glass of wine. That's
feel like-
all I think
I
of.
feel like, yeah.
That's all I
That's
think of.
Jeremiah.
Florida man tries to kite across the ocean, fails miserably, but somehow makes it land. That's that Florida luck.
You know what? I feel like
That's the Florida
if it's
luck.
going to be someone, it's going to be a Florida
man. Florida will
Florida
do it.
man.
Although, with how it's going, Portland, Oregon could try the same thing.
Okay, so this toddler is best friends with a frog. Believe it or not, they eat together, watch TV, and go on walks.
Frog.
Mm-hmm. Frog.
Frog.
Meet the toddler whose best friend is a pet frog. Little Juliana Allen begged her mom for a pet white tree frog from the pet store in Panama City, Florida, after it had been given up by its previous owner. The mother of 3 eventually caved and purchased the frog for $40 last August. He was so fat and squishy looking, and she wanted to hug him straight away. The store let her pick him up and hold him, recalled Brandy. Then she said, "Mommy, please, 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 please," and I couldn't say no. The 2-year-old named it George, and the pair are now inseparable, doing everything together. The frog perches happily on Juliana's shoulder as she watches TV and eats breakfast, and sits in on her stroller as she takes him on a walk around the house. She's even taken him in the car to her grandmother's house to show him off. He just crawls to the top of her shoulder, and they walk around together. He manages to hang on somehow. Oh, I don't know why. I got to do something different there.
Find the power cord for the monitor.
They already own a dog and a cat, but George sleeps in Juliana's bedroom in a cage with a heat lamp. and gets fed with plenty of worms. The family is unsure where the adopted frog is from or how old he is, but his species is found in Australia and New Zealand.
He's a long way from
Yeah.
home.
She wakes up and the first thing she says is baby frog, and she wants to hold him right away. When she's eating breakfast, he sits calmly next to her on the table, and before we leave the house, she always says, bye-bye frog, or sorry, bye-bye baby frog, I'll be back. When white tree frogs feel threatened or stressed, they turn dark brown, but when Juliana picks him up, he turns green and turquoise so they know he's happy. Looking after a frog has led to 1 or 2 sticky situations. Frogs can carry salmonella, so I had to teach Juliana not to kiss him. Hugging is fine, but she washes her hands afterwards because she knows the rules. He peed on Juliana once, which she didn't like very much, said Brandy, who was quite amazed by the duo's unbreakable bond. I never thought we would get a frog, but if you find an old soul like George, I definitely recommend getting a pet frog. He's just a happy little fella. Where are we at? We're good on time, yeah?
Yeah, we're fine.
So, goofy little frog named George. The first thing when she wakes up, this could not get any cuter. You're right.
Dude, this is sick. I'm buying a frog.
I know, right?
I looked it up. Keeping frogs and toads as pets, the initial setup cost can be expensive, but on average, per month, it costs $20 to $50.
Oh, I would think it'd be less. But $20 to buy them worms and whatever.
Yeah, to buy them
stuff they eat.
worms, you need, and if you need like new water and whatnot.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm buying a frog, I think.
Thinking about going to buy a frog.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm actually getting I think a turtle. So.
Turtle? It's gonna be like one of those tiny little turtles? Gonna be
Uh,
like a bigger turtle.
yeah, kind of like tinier. Not
Don't
like
get-
a giant like
You know what turtle you should try and find?
a ninja turtle.
The shoe turtle.
Oh yeah,
The shoe turtle.
He's like Pacific.
The turtle who only hates black shoes.
Yeah, the for those of you, we did a show about that a little while ago.
And he has a name which we can't say.
A ball
on the
python.
show.
Yes, I could see how Mother not approve of that because the
If-
python and the frog would probably not get along.
Now
so
look,
well.
hear me out. A ball python. I think it'd be hilarious if it's literally a ball. It's
Yeah.
a ball with a snake face off of one end of it. That's the ball python.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Stream Stream Farher, and welcome back Valentina Alcaraz. Thanks for watching.
I'm looking up ball pythons because I've never heard of this before.
Ball pythons.
Ball python.
Yeah. While you're doing that, wait, what'd you say about their face?
I said it'd be hilarious if a ball python was literally just a ball with a snake face just
With a
sticking
snake
off
face.
of it. That'd be hilarious. I'd love that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of face, I guess, there's this formation, and you're going to love this because it just looks wonderful. A formation that looks like a grizzly bear, spotted on Mars by NASA cameras. One sec, sending a pic of a snake to the Extremely Dead Discord. For those of you who want to see,
Dude, she's just trashing the Discord.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
not even gonna lie.
yeah. But check out the bear.
That is a bear.
Yeah.
That's a
Fiction
bear.
and non-fiction writers alike have imagined life on Mars. Now you don't need any imagination to picture the residents as a giant bear. Scientists at NASA have spotted what they say looks like a bear on the red planet. The quirky image was captured in December by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter from a height of 156 miles. The spacecraft used its high-res camera, which is the most powerful camera. Okay, the high-resolution image science experiment, which is the most powerful camera ever sent to another planet. The space agency quipped in a headline on its website, "A bear on Mars? This feature looks a bit like a bear's face. What is it really?" Because they're smarter than the average bear, the researchers explained that the photo shows a hill with a V-shaped collapsed structure, the nose, 2 craters, the eyes, and a circular fracture pattern, the head. The circular fracture pattern might be due to the settling of a deposit over a buried impact crater. Maybe the nose is a volcanic or mud vent, and the deposits could be lava or mud flows, but they don't really know.
I've got to start streaming again, according to Twitch chat.
Oh, definitely.
I've got to start streaming again.
You do. Mother did not approve. I wanted a corn snake. My mother did not approve. Python's cute. Sending the picture. Okay, join Discord. Yes. Join Discord. And just for chat,
know.
there's Discord again.
I know exactly what that face is. You know what that face is?
Yeah.
That's that face when you wake up at 3 in the morning and you want water. That's the face you make when you're stumbling through the house to the sink. Yeah.
Honey.
I can't do that. I'm just gonna sound like Yoda. Honey.
So, since we're talking about animals, the next one is probably one of the most happiest animals in the world, or it makes people like super excited. Let me do this real quick. Make sure I'm not.
I know this.
Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay. So they formed a human chain. You know what a human chain is, right? Red Rover.
Have you seen the what's it called? Hands Across the World or whatever it is?
Yeah. So they formed a human chain in Florida, by Florida biologists to save a stranded dolphin. I'll just go ahead and put it here since we seem to be messing this one up. When a dolphin got lost and swam up a Florida canal, no less than 30 biologists and volunteers formed a human chain to block its passage further up the waterway.
Could you imagine seeing dolphins just like, everyone, I need you here now, activate the human link.
I feel like it would have been hilarious, and this is just me, it would have been hilarious if the dolphin had just jumped over them.
So, in Texas, I swam with dolphins.
Yeah.
If they want to get somewhere, it's very difficult to stop them from getting somewhere.
I feel like they could just swim right up to you and just push these people out
Dolphin
of the way.
swam up to me. I had to stop the dolphin. That was my goal. I had to stop the dolphin, stop it. It bowled me
Right
over, took me out.
Well, when I was swimming with the dolphin, it turned over. I rode it like a scooter for a little bit, and then when it rolled back, it threw me.
Yeah, it throws you. Yep.
And I mean, we were traveling like 15 miles an hour or whatever.
The job was dolphin comes up to me, it stops, I can hold onto its fin, and it'll drag me across water. No, dolphin just slammed into me.
Boom.
Laughed about it. It straight up laughed about it. Got fed a fish because it did it and laughed, and then I got to swim.
Okay. Yeah, we got time.
The dolphins get taught to bully people. And I swear.
Dolphins are goofy. Okay. Their efforts saw the dolphin flee the canal out into Tampa Bay, saving it from a life of losing its ability to fend for itself and eventually ending up as an aquarium resident. Brittany Baldrica, a senior rescue biologist with Clearwater Marine Aquarium, got a call that a dolphin was hanging about in a canal in Clearwater, Florida. The caller was concerned that it was hurt or lost, and as after 4 days it had not moved beyond a small stretch of the artificial waterway. The Marine Mammal Protection Act stipulates that feeding or harassing marine mammals like manatees, dolphins, or whales is illegal. However, Baldrica had just recently rehabilitated a dolphin named Izzy, who had been fed by humans after a boat strike left her stranded in a canal for so long that she forgot how to hunt. She told a local Fox affiliate that following the call, they monitored the dolphin for 18 days. He was behaviorally okay at that point, and then upon talking to other people within the residency, they had said the animal may have been there for at least 4 days. So we were just concerned he got separated from other animals, Baldrica said. Eventually, they determined she needed to intervene. Last Wednesday, she gathered a group of 28 biologists from the Clearwater Aquarium and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration,
Good Lord,
and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission to enter the canal and form a wall of sound to encourage the dolphin to swim through a narrow culvert and out towards Tampa Bay.
I just imagine this group of people locked arms, just screaming at this.
I would like to do the Tarzan sound.
Yeah, it's just the Tarzan sound effect 30 times.
Yeah. They're singing the song that doesn't end, and the dolphin's like, "No,
it's like, oh God, give me away, please!
Make it stop!
For the love of God, please!"
Okay, The goal was not to put hands on the animal. The goal was just to be a barrier that was novel to the animal. So we wanted to create a physical barrier as well as an auditory barrier. So we had somebody behind us that was banging on a boat, revving their engines, and then we were splashing the water, moving forward towards the animal. So we were giving the animal the option to swim through the bridge on its own, Valdrika said.
We had a big boat. They were banging on the boat. We had 2 Ford F-150s on either side revving their engine.
Trying to chill. The wall of sound is just megalovania.
Megalovania.
Pet the water dog. So yeah, I guess let's lock hands and not touch it.
This right here, this is the perfect thing for you know those commercials. This is what it's like to drive a Ford F-150.
Yeah, this is what it's like.
That's exactly what these commercials are.
We're thankful to the residents in the area who worked with us to help protect the animal from harassment and provide access to the property while we monitored and rescued the animal, CMA said in a press release.
You ever gotten 30 people together with a boat and 2 Ford F-150s just to scare a dolphin back out into the ocean? That's what it's like to drive a Ford F-150.
I feel like they could have parked the Ford right up there on the grass.
They probably
and just been like...
It's Florida, right?
Yeah.
People have lifted Fords. The Fords could have gone in the canal. Yeah, they could just have just a Ford F-150 in the canal.
So, my next article is just really cool. It's really cool to me, and since this is my show, I'm
already intrigued.
I can do what I want.
You've already sold me.
If you're into tiny little robots, this is going to be right up your alley. Oh, here we go. To boost produce pollination. Tiny fairy robots. That's right, fairy, F-A-I-R-Y, fairy robots can be propelled by the wind like seeds.
Go on, Tink.
Uh-huh. In the future, millions of artificial dandelion seeds carrying pollen could be dispersed freely by natural winds and then steered by light towards specific areas with trees or flowers awaiting pollination. The genesis for such wild imagination is the recent invention of a polymer assembly robot that flies by wind, is controlled by light, and inspired by the dandelion seeds we used to blow into the wind when we were young.
Controlled by light.
That's right.
What does that mean?
The prototype has already been developed by Tampere University's Light Robots group, who use smart materials to create soft-bodied robots capable of moving themselves around via environmental stimuli rather than hard circuitry. Light enough to be carried by the winds, the robot could be a game changer for almonds, apples, and other flowers in the face of declining pollinator populations. This would have a huge impact on agriculture globally, since the loss of pollinators due to global warming has become a serious threat to biodiversity and food production, explains Hao Zhang, the group leader. The backdrop to this invention is the development of stimuli-responsive polymers, which have brought about a wealth of opportunities for next-generation, small-scaled, and wirelessly controlled soft-body robots. For some time now, engineers have known how to use these materials to make small robots that can walk, swim, and jump. Last year, GNN reported on these soft robotics in the medical field, swarms of robots that can clean teeth, deliver targeted medication, or break up blood clots. So far, though, no one has been able to make them fly. Hao Zhang and colleague Jiafeng Yang are tackling this world first with a project called Fairy Flying, aero robots based on light-responsive materials assembly. They have developed a polymer assembly robot that flies by wind and is controlled by light. And I lost my spot. Okay. Superior to its natural counterpart, this artificial seed is equipped with a soft actuator. The actuator is made of light-responsive liquid crystalline elastomer, which induces opening or closing actions on the bristles upon visible light excitation, explains Hao Zhang. The artificial fairy developed by Zhang and Yang have several biomimetic features. Weighing a porous 1.2 milligrams, it can easily float in the air directed by wind. The fairy can be powered and controlled by light sources such as laser beams or LED, Zhang says. This means that light can be used to change the shape of the tiny dandelion seed-like structure. The fairy can adapt manually to wind direction and force by changing its shape. A light beam can also be used to control the takeoff and landing actions of the polymer assembly. It sounds like science fiction, but the proof of concept experiments included in our research show that the robot we have developed provides an important step towards realistic applications suitable for artificial pollination, says Zhang. However, many problems need to be solved first. For example, how to control the landing spot in a precise way, and how to reuse the devices and make them biodegradable. These issues require close collaboration with material scientists and people working on microbiotics. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's little fairies. That's just it. That's how it works.
Little fairies. I feel like
Little fairies.
how many little fairies do you think it would take to bring me a hamburger? Because if we could somehow get a hamburger into this story, it would be even better. It would be even better.
I want frog robots.
I feel like miniature micro nano bots like they had in the Big Hero 6 movie.
That'd be pretty neat.
Where you're at home and you're like, oh, I forgot the bacon. And it's just like...
This giant wave of black just running down the stairs.
Yeah.
I got a little hungry right now.
I feel like we are out of time. So, for the sake of just a mention, I'll put this on here. This U.S. startup makes building materials out of fast-growing grasses to capture more carbon than trees. But we're out of time, and
it looks so fake. It looks like a 3D model render instead of like an actual place.
It really is.
It looks like, it
is.
Rewind back to like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. That's what Oscorp looks like right there in those movies.
I would like my garage to look like that with that honeycomb ceiling and the lights coming through. It's kind of
honeycomb lights, pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Oh, give a shout out to Commander Root who showed up. Who showed up? We were just talking about you.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
All good things.
Thank you for showing up at the last possible second, and you made it just in time to hear.
Just in time.
Absolutely. Your name.
That's it.
Yes,
That's all.
right.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, if you run into Lurks, let him know that we're thinking about him too. And thanks for watching. We hope to be back here next Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Same time.
And which is like an hour later than what we were doing
before. But
and then we switch days and all kinds of other stuff.
But more people get off work around 5. It works out.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Anything you'd like to say?
Eat some tater tots.
Just for electric, I'm going to throw the Discord in there.
One more time.
2 more times.
2 more times.
3 more times. Let's just do it. Boom.
You might be pushing it.
Boom. I don't want to spam my own channel and get timed out
I don't want to plug myself or anything, but
yeah, what is the like button?
I don't know. Did we make it for YouTube?
Maybe.
You closed it already.
Oh! I don't think that works. But let's try it.
I'm very interested.
Nope.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly why it doesn't work. You have it set up to send every single line as individual message. If you had it set up to send every single thing as one message, it would work.
Yeah, but how do I do that?
Excellent question. I don't know.
Because I think when I press 1 and then enter, it just shows up. Yeah.
If you pasted it into Notepad, then copied it, and then pasted it into chat, it probably would.
Okay, I just have to try this. Notepad.
Now we're just experimenting.
Paste.
Yeah, if you copy and paste it, it should work, I think.
Paste.
Oh! And it works! I'm a genius. You look how it shows up on your phone. Yeah, it shows up like that. But on PC for Twitch chat, it shows up like that.
Yeah. Okay. So
we figured it out.
Yeah. You know what? I like it so much. I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
This is a 2 thumbs up type of a show. Anyway, now that we're definitely gone over.
Yeah, now that we've
just a couple of
we're just messing around.
High tech stuff there just for Commander Root. Again, thanks for coming in. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. And hope you have a great night.
Peace out.
Peace out.